Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Yeah, looking at another knife. This one is a Firebird knife made by GANZO Tools. Pretty interesting. Let's check it out. So what I'm talking about here is this guy here, and it comes in this nice little bag. It says GANZO Tools. And here it is here. This guy here. Now I know what you're thinking. George loves them orange bright kind of knives. Yep, I do. And that's the first thing that caught my attention. Actually, how I came across these guys is that a subscriber actually said in his comment that I should have a look at these guys and I might find them interesting. And you know what? He was right. They're right there on the bubble for me for my budget. And I came across this guy. Now they have a bunch. And this one is their Firebird. Now GANZO own Firebird, and Firebird knives produce a bunch. They've got a whole bunch of them. All different kinds, different shapes, handles, blades, you know, the usual story. Looking at them, I thought they don't look too bad at all. So they had a bunch of choices. I actually got 3 of them. So I got 3 of them, and this was the first guy that came in. This was the guy I was really interested in. And you can see it there. It's very nice. It's well made. You know, that there's no gaps on the liners, anything like that. It's got a nice clip on it. It is a flipper. And it is a liner lock. And the model number on this one is the FH41S. And at the end of it, it does say, oh, obviously for the orange, because they come in different colors. And as you can see here, it flips out nicely. It's nothing really wow about it, but it does the job. It comes out no problem. I mean, it flips out. It's nice and smooth. And you can see here. The nice thing about it, see that? I can't even pull it out. You have to flip it out. It has a flat grind on it. But I'm having a real problem with some of the descriptions you're seeing online. And I'll explain what I mean. What kind of a blade would you say this is? Looking at it right there like that. To me, drop point. Okay, it's a full grind. It has a bit of a ricasso coming out here. It has your thumb jimping on it. It's a nice full flat grind. You can see it there. And it comes pretty sharp. Nice edge to it here. And it's kind of sort of a false blade. It's really hard to see, but you can, you know, it's slightly there. It comes to a nice point. But it's a drop point is what I'm going to say it is. And it has a lanyard hole. It has all the things that everybody has with it. The release on it, very easy. You know, like I said, this thing flips nicely, no problems at all. And I will say it's in there solid. There's no movement at all on this. Very nice. Has the clip, pocket clip. Now, what I'm talking about as far as the description, I got this on Amazon, and in the description on Amazon, at the page that I bought it, okay, it says this is a clip point. Further on down in the description, it says what do they call it? Straight back. No, no, it's not. And then I went to the GANZO page because it has the link, GANZO products. I went there, looked, and they said drop point. Classic drop point. And yeah, I think that's right. But then the other knives I looked at, I had the same issue with that page there, and I looked on it, and it, you know, every description had a different thing. One said clip point, one said I think the one said Warrencliffe, and the other one said a drop point, straight back. I don't know what it is. With these modern knives, as you know, I've always looked at traditional knives and stayed with them. and they have your traditional blades. Nothing fancy about it. The new knives that are coming out, what I call the modern type knives, this type of knife, have all these different blades. I mean, one that we looked at, it almost looks like a spear point, but they said it wasn't. It was a clip point, or they say it's a drop point, or I've given up trying to describe what the blade is. Showing you is just the easy way. There's the blade, kind of a drop point. So I'm not going to go any more into that. I don't know if there's a special name for this style blade. It's a nice blade. I like it. It works well. It looks really nice. And it has the label on it. You can see it there. Very nice, clean, well made. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with those liners. They are nice and clean, stainless steel liners. The blade on this is D2. The actual manufacturing, it's smooth, no sharp edges on it. The knives are coming really clean. So one thing I have noticed. Now this is ball bearing on the pivot. You got to keep that clean. It works fine. I like it. It works fine. And like I said, the liners are very nice. How well does the blade line up? Let's look. See, you can see there, dead center. Can't complain about that. That's almost perfect. It doesn't come out because the detent on it works really well. It does have the detent. You can see the little doohickey in there where it clips into the blade. And they don't expect you to try and open it with your thumb or anything like that. This is a flipper. There. That's it. That's how you open it. I've seen some of the knives out there that are kind of like this, and they kind of have a bulge in the blade, and there's a hole in there where in the traditional you could fit your thumb in there and flick it open. They don't work, not those ones. And they don't expect it of you on this one. They just made it nice, clean, and simple. I can't complain about this at all. It's a little heavy because of the liners. I believe it's stainless steel, so it's a little heavy on the liners. I don't think it's a problem. This is a working knife. You want a little bit of weight to it. I don't think it's heavy enough where it's going to bother you in your pocket. And it is, like I said, a liner lock, and it lines up nicely, does its job, doesn't move or flex or anything. It's really easy to release. Very well made. I don't have a problem at all with the manufacturing that. I just have a problem with the descriptions that they're giving us. It has a good clip on it. It's nice and solid. Can you change this clip? No. It's one-sided, and as you can see, when you put it in your pocket, it is tip up. So it goes in your pocket like that. This is one-sided, very basic, straightforward, and that's how I like things. So there it is there. Let's have a look at some of the specs quickly. The weight on this is 4.19 ounces, which is a little heavier than most, but like I said, that's because they have the stainless steel liners in it. Closed length is going to be 4 inches, just under, no biggie there. Full length, open, is going to be, I'm going to say 7 inches. It's just a little under. You can see it there. And sitting in my hand, you can see it. The handle sits where it should. The handle is more comfortable than I thought it would be. A little worried about the clip being on the inside. Not a big deal on this one. I'm not seeing it. I like this big indenture because my finger sits in there perfectly. And of course, the jimping, my thumb is sitting on there just right. So the blade length, let's check that out. Now I'm going to measure it. I'm going to measure it to the handle. I mean, the working edge is almost there anyway, because that ricasso is not very big. And it does have a small choil here. Well, I shouldn't say small. It's a good-sized choil right above the flipper handle. So it comes in with the ricasso. And the ricasso is very small. The blade almost comes to the handle anyway. So I'm going to measure that. I'm going, 3 inches. Wow. To the handle is 3 inches. You've got about 1/8 of an inch less than that to the end of the blade by the choil. So not bad. I like this. Did it come sharp? It feels sharp. And looking at, I want to get some light on it here so you can see. The blade edges not quite consistent. It's deeper here. When I say deeper, it goes down more than over here and on the tip. The tip is okay. It's not perfect, but you could clean that up, no problem. And like I said, how sharp it is, don't know. It's cutting the paper. And honestly, it's nice to have a extremely sharp knife for what I'm going to use this for, and this would be a working knife, an everyday carry. You know, that's more than, if you can cut paper like that, it's going to do the job. Will it cut a piece of string? Yes, some old nasty 550, and see if it cuts it fine. No problem there. It's a little fluffy, but it cuts through it. That's probably more due to the cheapness of the 550 than the blade. And I like this. I really like this knife. It's simple, straightforward, kind of like me. More simple than straightforward. It feels really good. You know, cutting some wood again. I'm not sure you would use this in this application. Typically, even a work EDC that you carry around with you at work, you're probably not going to cut any wood with it. I wouldn't think of any reason to, but you're going to cut paper, cardboard, string, tubing, open boxes, that sort of thing. It's not heavy work. They call it the FB knife, made by GANZO, the FH41S-D2 on the blade right there. D2 steel has a pretty good Rockwell hardness on it. So it'll carry an edge pretty well. The reason I like D2 is that, like I said, it's fairly easy to sharpen. If I strop this now, it'll clean it up after doing that stuff. Actually, we just cut that, so it still cuts. Stropping with it probably won't do anything right now. I haven't really done any work on it, but I'll just give it a quickie to cut anymore, because I mean those cuts are pretty clean. I can't complain about that. You know, there's no furriness to the cuts. So, you know, nice knife, D2 steel, price, pretty good. Paid that much for it. It's not going to break the bank. You know, the other day I was talking to a guy at work and I showed him one of my knives I was carrying. I forget which one it was. Actually, by the time you see this video, you will have seen it. It was a Savidi knife that I'd done a review on, and I had brought it into work because he was actually asking about stropping, and I just brought this in for him because he had a Benchmade, and he said it's a beautiful knife. He paid up $150 something for it, and he said it came razor sharp, but he's been using it now for about a year, and he said it's not as sharp as it was, and he needs to sharpen. And I said, have you tried stropping? And he kind of stared at me. So I brought in my strop and just showed him, and he just, he stropped. I showed him how to strop, and how I strop, and I'm not very good at it. And he did that, and it made a difference right away. And he didn't even strop that much, but and then he looked at my knife, and he goes, how much I paid for this? Well, what do you do? I said to him, I can't afford that kind of a knife. So. Like I said, I have a couple of other ones from them. The main difference is the way they open and lock, that sort of thing. The blades are different, and we'll get to that. So hopefully we'll see how well this one holds up. I mean, looking at these knives, they all look great. They all work great. They open great. I don't have enough history with them to tell you how well they work. I just like the way they look, the way they feel. I'm really getting into this modern stuff. I'm not excited about it because they're a little bit more expensive than what I would normally pay. So I've got my Rough Riders, I've got my marbles. They're always coming out with newer stuff as well, which I've been looking at, so I can't complain about that. So there you go, Firebird. Very nice. Like this. Like I said, it's the Firebird knife. It's what they call it. And it is a series. Like I said, they have a huge series, and it's made by GANZO Tool. It is a Chinese company. But from what I've seen, people like them. So That's a good thing. What more can I say? Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back again soon with another knife. It probably won't be one of these. I try to vary what I'm showing you. Right now I'm working on looking at some other stuff, and we'll see how that goes, and I'm pretty sure I'll share it with you. Did I mention this has a lanyard hole? I like it. I like the color on it. It's well made. You will be safe out there, especially with these sharp and shinies. So, thanks for watching. Always appreciated, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.